When BTS officially announced their long-awaited comeback, the global reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Fans celebrated, media outlets rushed to publish breaking news, and social platforms were flooded with messages of excitement. Yet, beneath the surface of celebration, another conversation quietly began to grow. It was not a conversation about release dates, album concepts, or tour schedules. It was a conversation about Jungkook. Specifically, fans began asking a question that reflects how much his career has evolved in recent years. How will Jungkook balance his role in BTS with his solo career moving forward? This question did not come from doubt or concern, but from recognition. Jungkook is no longer viewed solely as a member returning to group activities. He is viewed as a global solo artist re-entering a group dynamic that has itself evolved. The comeback announcement, while brief and carefully worded, reopened discussions that had been quietly building throughout his solo era. And January 2026, despite the absence of new releases, has become the focal point of that debate. Before his solo era, discussions about balancing group and individual activities were largely hypothetical. Jungkook's solo success transformed those hypotheticals into tangible realities. His releases reached audiences far beyond the traditional K-pop ecosystem. They performed strongly on global charts, received extensive international radio play, and introduced Jungkook to listeners who had never closely followed BTS. This shift matters. It means that when Jungkook returns to BTS, he does so not only as a group member, but as an artist with a proven independent identity. Fans now see two parallel paths in his career, both valid, both successful, and both demanding. As a result, the debate is no longer about whether Jungkook can pursue both paths, it is about how he will choose to balance them. January 2026 stands out not because of dramatic announcements, but because of its quietness. There were no surprise drops, no solo teasers, no official statements clarifying future schedules. Yet, Jungkook's name continued trending across platforms. Fans interpreted this silence in multiple ways. Some viewed it as a natural pause following major group news. Others saw it as strategic restraint, time reserved for preparation rather than promotion. What united these interpretations was a shared understanding. Jungkook's next move matters more than ever. The lack of information amplified speculation, not out of impatience, but out of curiosity shaped by respect for his artistry. As discussions intensified, two broad perspectives emerged within the fandom. One side believes Jungkook should focus primarily on BTS during this comeback phase. They argue that group unity has always been central to BTS's identity, and that Jungkook's solo achievements will naturally enhance group performances without requiring immediate individual projects. The other side believes Jungkook's solo momentum should not be paused entirely. They point out that his solo career represents artistic growth, not separation, and that maintaining a balance could benefit both Jungkook and BTS in the long term. Importantly, neither side frames the debate as conflict. Instead, it reflects how fans now perceive Jungkook as an artist capable of sustaining multiple creative identities without diminishing either. Beyond fan discussions, industry realities also shaped this debate. Balancing group and solo activities is not merely a personal choice. It involves scheduling, market strategy, and long-term planning. Jungkook's global reach means that every decision carries weight across multiple markets. Music analysts note that artists who successfully balance both paths often do so by prioritizing phases rather than attempting simultaneity. Group-focused periods are followed by solo-focused ones, allowing each to breathe. If this model applies, January 2026 may represent a transitional phase, one where Jungkook consolidates his role within BTS before gradually reintroducing solo activities at a later stage. However, without official confirmation, this remains informed speculation rather than conclusion. One factor often highlighted in discussions is Jungkook's maturity as an artist. He is no longer navigating his first solo experiences. He has already faced global expectations, critical scrutiny, and creative pressure as an individual. This experience may allow him to approach future decisions with greater clarity and confidence. Fans frequently point out that Jungkook has consistently emphasized balance between work and rest, ambition and responsibility, individuality and teamwork. These values suggest that any future direction will likely avoid extremes. BTS has never framed solo success as competition with group identity. Historically, individual projects have strengthened the group rather than fragmented it. Each member's growth added depth to BTS's collective narrative. Jungkook's situation follows this pattern, albeit on a larger scale. His solo success does not rewrite BTS's identity, it expands its scope. This historical context reassures fans that balance is not only possible, but integral to BTS's long-term sustainability. Another key theme in January 2026 discussions is silence. In modern pop culture, constant updates are often mistaken for progress. Jungkook's reduced visibility during this period challenges that assumption. Many fans now interpret silence as intentional space, time allocated for preparation, alignment, and decision-making, rather than inactivity. This interpretation aligns with BTS's broader communication style, which often prioritizes impact over frequency. Balancing group and solo identities is not only logistical, it is psychological. Jungkook carries expectations from multiple audiences: longtime ARMYs, casual listeners, and new fans introduced through his solo work. Navigating these expectations requires emotional intelligence and self-awareness. Fans increasingly acknowledge this complexity, shifting conversations from demands to understanding. Ultimately, the ongoing debate about Jungkook's future balance reflects respect rather than pressure. Fans are not questioning his loyalty or intentions, they are acknowledging his growth and recognizing that his career has reached a stage where choices matter deeply. This respect-driven speculation sets a healthier tone for discussions surrounding his future. As the debate continues, one underlying theme becomes increasingly clear. Jungkook's career can no longer be defined by a single label. He is not just a solo artist who returned to a group, nor is he merely a group member with a successful side project. These simplified narratives fail to capture the complexity of his current position in the music industry. Jungkook now exists in a space where dual identities are not contradictions, but extensions of one another. His solo work revealed facets of his artistry that were always present, but previously expressed through the collective lens of BTS. Returning to the group does not erase those facets, it integrates them. This realization has reshaped how fans frame their expectations. The conversation has shifted from choosing one path to defining a sustainable model. Timing plays a crucial role in how artists navigate dual careers, and Jungkook's situation is no exception. Industry professionals often emphasize that balance does not mean equal attention at all times. Instead, it involves recognizing when to prioritize collaboration and when to pursue individual expression. January 2026 represents a moment of recalibration. With BTS preparing for group activities, Jungkook's focus naturally aligns with collective goals. This does not signal the end of solo ambitions, but rather a strategic pause that allows the group narrative to re-establish itself. Fans who understand this timing tend to view the current period not as stagnation, but as groundwork. Jungkook's solo achievements did more than expand his audience, they raised expectations for every subsequent step. Returning to BTS after reaching global milestones as an individual means that audiences now listen differently. They notice vocal nuances more closely. They analyze performance choices more deeply. They interpret artistic decisions through a broader lens. This heightened scrutiny contributes to the ongoing debate. Fans are aware that Jungkook's next move will inevitably be compared to his solo past, regardless of whether that comparison is fair. Yet rather than fearing this pressure, many fans believe Jungkook is uniquely equipped to handle it, precisely because he has already navigated similar expectations on his own. One argument frequently raised in discussions is the stabilizing role BTS plays in Jungkook's career. While solo work offers freedom and experimentation, BTS provides structure, shared responsibility, and emotional grounding. This balance has historically allowed members to take creative risks without bearing the full weight alone. For Jungkook, returning to this framework may offer a sense of equilibrium after years of intense individual focus. Fans who emphasize this point often view group activities not as limitation, but as restoration. In this context, the debate is less about restriction and more about rhythm. Success, once measured primarily by charts and numbers, is now being redefined in conversations surrounding Jungkook. Fans increasingly talk about sustainability, creative fulfillment, and long-term impact rather than immediate achievements. This shift reflects a broader cultural change in how audiences engage with artists they admire. Jungkook's ability to step back into BTS while preserving his solo identity is viewed by many as a form of success in itself, one that prioritizes longevity over constant output. This reframing helps explain why January 2026 feels significant despite the absence of major announcements.